faced some slight hiccups at my end, and therefore we could start a little late. There seems to be some kind of patchy internet, but we'll try to make do with what we have at the moment. So let's go ahead and start our work together on this third session. So in the very first session I exposed you to the most important question type called parajumbles, apart from a couple of other question types. But then in the very next one we went ahead and talked about reading comprehension, and today I'd once again have a mix of different question types. So personally, when I start, I generally want people to start with para summary questions, because that in a way acts as a foundational question for a lot of different question types, and that is something that I'd shared with you in our first session as well. So before I in the preparation, and I say self-belief, but the next most important thing is discipline, and this is one of those neat, nice little definitions of discipline that if you have and you can work with, you definitely go ahead and do a lot better. Okay, so with that, let us start with a question type which is a regular part of the CAT exam and is very important. This is called the para summary question, or alternately we also call it best summary of the paragraph question. Okay, so that's another name that we have for it. So in this question type, the examiner gives us a paragraph which is followed by 4 alternate summaries. Our job is to pick up the best one. The hint that I can give you is that if you use elimination approach, you are likely to do a lot better. So to choose from, you can use the seeker of your YouTube video to go back to the right part, go back to the relevant part. So let's go ahead and start our work. Please shoot. So read this. You have 30 or 40 odd seconds, and then I'll take you over to the answer choices. मैं ना श्वेता ये डोर ओपन कर रहा हूँ, अंदर वाला मॉडर्न बंद हो गया, तो मैंने बाहर वाले से कनेक्ट किया। थोड़ा सा बस वॉल्यूम लेवल्स बस कम रखना है कि थोड़ा सा जो इंटरनेट एक्स्ट्रा आ पाए वही ले लूँ। यहाँ तक आता नहीं है अच्छे से वैसे वो। Okay, so share your answers. So the best possible answer for this particular question is going to be option C. So if you look at option 1, you notice it talks about elimination of developing nations. Now there is nothing mentioned in the passage that talks about elimination, so that gets ruled out. Then similarly, if you look at B, passage is silent on local cultures and traditions, and D, local industries need to be boosted to maintain a proper balance. That distorts the main idea itself and thus can be ruled out. That takes us to C as being our best answer choice. And here is your next question. Question number 2 on your screen. Go ahead and tell me what you think of it. So hopefully you have read it by now. So here are your options essentially. So what do you think should be the right answer here? So if we go ahead and start eliminating, artificial intelligence is in huge demand. Yes. And the demand would grow even more. Yes. But then the core has not been addressed. This is an answer choice that we'd say suffers from heavy deletion. The core of this particular paragraph is that, hey, there are people who are leaving the research in between and heading over to major organizations because they are being lured by them. So this heavy deletion plus changes the main idea consequently, so this can be ruled out. B is not even mentioned. It does not mention AI, it does not mention leaving and then moving away, can be ruled out. C is definitely capturing the main idea, right? And D is bringing in some new information, something that we label as addition. Huge pay gap between AI and the rest of the workforce. This is something that is not even present in the paragraph and thus can be ruled out. And therefore, the best answer for question number 2 is option C. And here is the next one. I think this is a relatively easy paragraph because the key idea is anyway more or less stated here. So let me take you over to the answer choices now. Here they are. And what do you think should the answer be? Again, work with the process of elimination and I'm sure that you will be able to arrive at the right answer choice really fast. So this is an addition, can be eliminated. Similarly, productive versus cheaper not mentioned, can be eliminated. And C, everything in C is right except for this last part, which once again is an addition. And when A, B and C are ruled out, you would realize that D, albeit it is not the perfect answer choice, but it is going to be the best answer choice that we happen to have here. And here is your fourth and the last summary based question. Go ahead and we look at this. So if I purely talk about the subject matter, I would say that this is perhaps the most familiar one, thanks to a lot of essays that we were made to kind of write along the same lines. Moreover, the style of writing is also something that you typically find in a newspaper or an article. And here are the answer choices. Oh, Zilani, I'm glad to hear that. Well, I hope that you went through our analysis yesterday, and what kind of score are you expecting now? Okay, so once again, if you go ahead and go through the process of elimination, I'd say that it is easy to go ahead and choose D as our answer here. And with that, let me take you over to the next set of 2 questions. This is an aspect that is often overlooked. Okay, so this aspect is the aspect called critical reasoning. So in our exams, so there are some exams like CAT where you get these questions directly. But when it comes to CAT, these questions are often a part of reading comprehension. And typically at least 1/3 of the questions belong to this particular category, and therefore if you leave this underdeveloped, it poses a lot of problems subsequently in the exam. And not only that, it has this indirect implication for a lot of other question types. So here is a paragraph followed by what I want you to do. Go ahead, read this carefully, and thereafter I'll have the answer choices on the next slide. You can look at it and give me the options. Radha Vinod, SNAP is easy every year. So to say that cutoffs are, when the exam is easy, obviously the cutoffs do go high, but even if you look at last year's exam, I'd say not that easy exam, but whatever the cutoffs were, you should expect more or less something similar. Although I could not track the exam that was conducted yesterday, my colleagues did that, and I'm sure you've attended the analysis, and that has given you the lowdown. So look at what the question asks us. The question asks us for something that helps us prove that the above conclusion is flawed. So first up, where is the conclusion? This last bit is where the conclusion is, and this provides the reasons behind the conclusion. Radha Vinod, is it? Yes, coffee is one of those things that I'm definitely partial to, but this is the third straight day where I am aiming at reducing my caffeine intake for some reasons. So I'll talk about those some other day. And here are the answer choices. So basically, the conclusion says, hey, adopt coffee as part of your lifestyle. Which one of the 4 helps us prove that the conclusion is flawed? So as you can see, B, C and D, all the three go ahead and talk about the benefits of coffee, whereas A introduces some facts which bring in the ill effects, and therefore the best answer choice for us here is option A. And here is your next question. Zilani, ZAT ka decision making up. Zilani, we definitely have sessions on decision making in ZAT. Besides, the truth is, you have been taking decisions daily in your life every day. So just start paying attention to how that process unfolds, and hopefully you'll get some pointers. But we'll definitely have sessions on decision making. So considering that we have a team that takes care of it, I may get to take some sessions, I may not, but whatever it is, if you have a doubt, if you have an issue, please go ahead, reach out to me. I'd love to help you. So this is one of those simple questions. Which of the following conclusion can be drawn? Now you remember all those questions in RC that ask us which of the following can be inferred from the passage, which of the following has been implied by the author. Those questions are nothing but a bigger version of this particular variety. So what do you think should the answer be? So here are the options. Go ahead, think it through and tell me how we'd go ahead and respond or reply to it. Now, when it comes to conclusions, we essentially divide them across three categories. Conclusions can be true, conclusions can be false, conclusions can be can't say, or something that those of you mathematically inclined may say, cannot be determined on the basis of the information provided, or data insufficient kind of scenarios. So we basically apply these labels. So if I look at the first one, this is can't say. There is no data provided with respect to the number of jobs that belong to each one of these two categories. So we cannot really determine that. B, once again, can't say because the data for the other countries have not been provided. C, does the country suffer from high rate of unemployment? We don't know. Is the GDP going down? We don't know. But then D can definitely be concluded. At the end of the day, you notice the data that is provided, number of unemployed skilled workers was equal to that of unemployed unskilled workers, and the ratio has also not been changing. So merely because you are making yourself skilled does not guarantee that you go ahead and find it easy to secure unemployment. Secure employment, what am I talking about? So that is where D comes into picture. So that's what I had brought for you today. If you have any other question, any issue, any concern, please go ahead and ask, put it in the chat window, and I would love to help you. And do consider going through our classes. So for example, today when you saw me going through para summary questions and you're like, hey, I don't know yet how to approach it. Why don't you unlock a 3-day trial, go through the session that we have on para summary, and then see whether it makes sense to you. And if it appeals to you, you can consider joining our comprehensive program for CAT 24, where the new batch is in fact starting really very soon. Okay, and that will go a long way. And these batches have produced amazing results in the past. We'll update it once CAT 23 results come out, and I'm sure we'd have many more great candidates and great percentiles to share with you. And I hope similar percentiles for you. So if you need me, once the session is over, reach out using any of these places, and we would love to get back to you and help you, especially on our Telegram group where I'm in that group, so you can tag me as well. Right? So until I see you next, stay safe, stay focused, stay in touch. Have a great day ahead. Take care.